Okay, hello everyone. My name is Takahiro Kitamura. My tattoo title is Horitaka. I'm the curator of the exhibition. I don't have a slideshow or stuffed animal photos to show you, but first off, I can't express enough how honored I am to have been chosen to curate such a monumental exhibit, and I have my dear friend Kip Fulbeck to thank for this. I don't know where you are, Kip, but thank you. Oh, he's right there. Okay. Thank you, Kip and Jack. But, and Kip, myself, and a host of others really have worked very hard to bring you Perseverance, and we really hope you enjoy it. Firstly, I would like to thank all of you for coming out and supporting this exhibit today. And in doing this, your support is twofold. You're supporting the art of the Japanese tattoo, and you're supporting an amazing museum. Now, I think JANM is more than a museum, it's more like an institution. It's the permanent exhibit, which I hope all of you will take a look at, focuses on the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. And it really reminds us to never forget injustices and civil rights violations. And this is also a reminder for the future that we need to be protective of civil rights and to challenge these violations, especially by the government. But now, I'm not trying to put a negative spin on this museum or on this exhibit, for example. This museum is a focal point. It's a community base here in Little Tokyo, and it's looked upon to lead the way. Now, that said, I would really like to acknowledge the progressiveness and the risks taken by Dr. Kimura, Mariko Gordon, a lot of the sponsors, and really everyone at the museum to bring you this tattoo exhibit. There was a little bit of a, hesitation, if you will, to put it lightly, to do this. But this is a bold, progressive move, and it's one that is sure to reverberate in the museum and tattoo communities alike. Special thanks to the museum staff, especially Koji Sakai and Elizabeth Bly, both of whom were kind of like my go-to people for everything, and I know I emailed and called them more than I should have, but also, just really everyone at the museum worked very hard to bring you this exhibit. So for me, thank you very much. Obviously, this exhibit would not be possible without the participating artists, and I want to thank all of you for your hard work. Many of you burned the midnight oil to get clients ready for photo shoots, and then others offered extra help in the actual production of the exhibit. Well, the hard work has paid off, and here we are, and it's amazing to see this to fruition. Thank you all. I would also like to thank John Agcaoili and his team for volunteering countless hours in filming and editing to produce the video clips about this exhibit. Please make sure to check them out. There's actually a touch screen in one of the halls, in the second room, so you can watch a lot of the clips. Of course, they're taping everything here, and all of this will be available online as well. And also in that vein, this is, after all, a photographic exhibition. So I'd like to recognize the photo assistants and editors that worked on this exhibit. I know Ken Clickinger's up there, and I'm sure a bunch of others. Thank you so much, and a lot of you guys volunteered your time, and we really appreciate that. Japanese tattooing is a global phenomenon, and it has been for many years. I would like to recognize the people who crossed an ocean to be here today. Koji Ichimaru and Alexandra from Italy, Stuart Robson from England, Miyazo, Yebis, Shige, his wife Chisato, daughter Ayaka, and all their clients came from Japan. Adrian Farley came from Australia. Steve and Danny, I'll give you one guess where they came from. Thanks for the flower lays and the aloha. Now, the propagation of Japanese tattooing was not achieved just by the skill and artistry of the tattooers alone. Many people helped introduce this art form to the world. I'd like to recognize Don Ed Hardy, a personal friend and mentor of mine, and possibly the single most important Westerner when it comes to the appreciation, study, execution, and teaching of and about the Japanese tattoo. Ed will be modest and tell you that other people like Donald Ricci and Sailor Jerry should be credited for this, but since I'm curator of this show, I'm saying it's Ed, and he's actually sitting right there. Every time I do anything, throw a convention, write a book, I always think, what would Ed do, or what would he think, and hope he's not too disappointed. But Ed, we're really honored to have you here. I hope you like the exhibit. And Ed also does have a tattoo in the exhibition. It's something, as Kip said, he tattooed in the 80s. We photographed it last year, and of course, it still looks great. The bulk of this exhibit focuses on the here and now, kind of the type of work that's happening in this modern era. And we are at a stage where Japanese tattooing and its many different forms, offshoots, and hybrids are being practiced all over the world. We're also seeing Japanese nationals relocating to other parts of the world to ply their trade. Of special significance is Onizuka Tattoo, right here in Little Tokyo. Jiro, Jocko, and L.A. Horitaka, all Japanese expats, live here in the States and are continuing their rich traditions here to a very eager public. I'd like to thank the Onizuka crew for all their help and for being gracious hosts in Little Tokyo. They're actually sitting right here looking amazing. I'd also like to say happy birthday to Jocko. Oh, it's your birthday as well? Okay, well, happy birthday. We threw a museum exhibit just for you two, your birthday party. I don't know what we're going to do next year, but, happy birthday. And also I'd like to give special thanks to the two women in my life, my mother up there. My mom always took me to museums when I was a kid, kind of dragged me rather, because I didn't want to go. Always encouraged me to do art, and I'm sure she didn't mean for me to go to tattoo art. But anyhow, here I am, Mom. Thanks for everything. And sitting next to her is my wife, Molly, and I really couldn't have done this without her love and support. So thank you. I love you. And I promise to ask you next time before I agree to curate an exhibit. Because, it's been a lot of work, but it's been fun too as well, and it's certainly worth it to see it. The exhibit has been documented in a catalog, and here's my little spiel, but it's available now at the museum store for only $19.99, 200 full-color pages. But in all seriousness, I'd like to also thank Colin Horisel Baker, who spent a lot of time laying that catalog out, and he really deserves a recognition for that. Now I'd like to introduce the speakers who will follow this, 4 individuals who have all very important roles in the Perseverance exhibit. Now it's a real honor to have Junie here today as a speaker and also as a participant in this exhibit. Many of you in the tattoo world already know Junie, as she is a living legend in our field. When most women in Japan were deathly afraid of tattoos and the social ramifications that those entailed, Junie was searching for someone to tattoo a bodysuit on her. She's a pioneer, years ahead of her time. She really gives us an expert opinion on an era that has passed. She is firsthand witness to what was once a private world, and we're all very lucky she's sharing her insights and experiences with us. We also have Chris Horishiki Brand. He's another pioneer of sorts, an amazing all-around tattooer. From portraits to bodysuits, there's really nothing Chris can't do. He's also an all-around artist. He does a lot of murals, museum shows. Such a wide range, it really is no surprise that he actually created his own 108 Heroes of Los Angeles. I'm going to let him tell you about that, but let me assure you that it falls into place with a rich tradition of storytelling in the Japanese tattoo, and it's one of the most unique adaptations I've ever seen. We're really proud that he's introducing it here. So once again, JANM is breaking new ground. Following Chris, we have Jill Horiyuki Halpin, and she will walk you through her client's storytelling journey. Now, storytelling is a recurring theme here and a very important part of Japanese tattooing, and also, to many cultures around the world. Jill will talk specifically about her client's desire to convey the story of his ethnic heritage in the form of a Japanese bodysuit. Now, this may sound confusing, but trust me, she has done a beautiful job, and it really shows that fusion and cultural sharing yield amazing results when they're done carefully and respectfully. Our final speaker is another living legend, Chaz Bojorquez. As I'm sure many of you know, he is a pioneer of West Coast graffiti and also no stranger to the art scene in Los Angeles and actually art scene all over the world. He's most known for his unique lettering style, and he'll discuss some of that today. Now, I approached him to letter out Perseverance for us. I think the name of the exhibit is very important, and so is the visual treatment of it. Perseverance is the closest English translation of the Japanese word gaman. Gaman means you persevere and silently endure. I'm sure most of the Japanese Americans in the room know what I'm talking about. Maybe your grandma told you to gaman at some point. But it's an important cultural trait to Japanese and Japanese Americans. Now, it's also a word that's been used for tattoo in many parts of Japan, and it's easy to see why. And so in a sense, the title of this exhibit could actually be translated as tattoo. But I think the dual concepts of gaman and perseverance really do well to define this exhibit. One of the things I thought was amazing when I was talking to Chaz and he was telling me about his process with this lettering, and if I give away part of Chaz's lecture, I'm sorry about that, but Chaz, when we talked about it, described the word perseverance as a train. And this blew my mind because I never really think of words like that. I never would have thought of a word like that, and it really immediately validated my choice in picking Chaz to do this. I think Chaz is a genius, and he sees words and their emotions much differently than us common people. And I really love the treatment that he did, and I think it really does remind me of a train, like of perseverance, like kind of like that little engine that could. And I think every tattooer in the room, every client with a Japanese tattoo knows that feeling, the chugging along through the pain, you work through the fatigue, blood, sweat, maybe some tears, but really Japanese tattoos must be earned and you must persevere. So I'm actually going to cut my speaking short here because I'm going to go see what's going on with the models, make sure they're prepared. We're about to bring out a bunch of people in fundoshis to display their models, and of course the biggest thanks goes to them, the clients, because without them this show wouldn't exist. So that said, I'll be back out in a few minutes. The first group, these are actually all clients of Shige, most of whom flew out from Japan just for this. And just give like a little space. Yeah. I remember Shige kept telling me that this type of exhibition would unfortunately never happen in Japan. So they're very eager, like they're very proud of their culture and their artwork, and they're here to show it. Now we have two clients of Jeff Gogwe, who actually, Jeff is not only a tattooer, but he's right there showing his background, which I think is important because, we're all clients and tattooers at the same time. So let's have Jeff's guys come on up. You want to stand there, Mr. Szeto? The next batch is from Chris Horishiki Brand, and I really hope that you take a look at his work in the exhibition and also his thesis about his 108 Heroes of Suikoden, some of which are exhibited here. Come on in. Let's actually hold applause to the end, just because they're going to be coming out in a row. They definitely deserve applause. Getting these tattoos and also walking around in a fundoshi in front of strangers is not an easy thing to do. So. Now we have a few clients of Yokohama Horiken. Now it's really quiet. Our next client is Jill Horiyuki Bani. And also just talk about stereotypes, because I think a lot of what the Japanese hesitation to appreciate this kind of art is that they say, well, a lot of Yakuza get tattooed, but I'm not going to say who, but in this group we have school teachers, we have police officers. It's a much different, than the stereotype of what it is. Actually, these next four are clients of mine. Okay, and next we have clients of Horitomo. Next three clients are from Drew Flores. Go ahead. Next, we have a client from Brian Kaneko. And our next client is Chui Quintanar. Okay. Next one is Evan Skridurstu. I can't say his last name. Sorry, Evan. Oh, slow down. Oh, give it a pause, just so people. Okay, thank you. And the next client is Khalil Rente. Next, we have a client of Small Paul's. Next piece is from Tim Hendricks. Next one is from Luke Stewart. Oh, Gerard, you gotta go up this way. Sorry. You go up and around. You gotta do the full walk. Not getting out that easy, buddy. Next, Fiverr from Espy. I think, well, the reason we brought models out yesterday and today also is because, I mean, ultimately, I think the photo exhibition is amazing, but, you know, really tattoos live and die with the wearer, so the real prime viewing time is on that person. So here we have our tattoo. If now on the model side, if you could make sure that whichever side of your body has more tattoos is facing the audience, and this is your photo op. Oh yeah, please. And actually, they're going to move the screen so we have a little more room so people can spread out a little bit. But please feel free to take photos. Can everyone move forward and maybe space out a little more? Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. And seriously, to all you models, thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Better get up and move down. If you want to take pictures now, you'll never get them.
Yeah, this is just open photo time.
You better get them now.
Yeah, originally we had kind of wanted to line them up for you, but then we had so many volunteers that, which is a good problem, so everyone's kind of, yeah, maybe, can we have everyone kind of rotate positions maybe, sort of, maybe everyone circle around, or like maybe these people come to the front, kind of rearrange the order a little bit.
Useful bodies.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to rotate here soon.
All right, can we do another rotation, please?
What are you doing, Mom?
Unless you want to walk them that way and then to the green room, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. And you can do another sort of like a walk. Let them know they're going to model some walk out that way. So if they want to take photos, just tell them to walk slow. Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone's kind of having fun taking pictures and stuff. Can we do another rotation or turn around, or maybe some of you have bodysuits, so maybe show different sides of it if you do, or. Is there anyone who hasn't really come up to the front? Can we do another rotation if you haven't sort of been up the front? Can you sort of make sure you are? I'm getting mixed up here.